Hi, I'm Sarah Everhart, and I'm a legal specialist with the Agricultural Law Education Initiative. This video is about understanding agricultural discharge permits. Maryland law prohibits the discharge of pollutants into waters of the state, i.e. surface waters or groundwaters, except as authorized by a discharge permit issued by the Maryland Department of the Environment. So let's talk about what is a discharge. A discharge is the addition, introduction, leaking, spilling, or emitting of a pollutant into waters of this state, or the placing of a pollutant in a location where the pollutant is likely to pollute. Let's break down some of those terms in a little bit more detail. What is groundwater versus surface water? Groundwater means underground water in a zone of saturation, as compared to surface water, which is waters of the state which are not groundwaters. Examples of these are ponds, streams, rivers, harbors, and even the ocean. What's a pollutant? A pollutant is any waste or wastewater that is discharged from a publicly owned treatment works or an industrial source, or any other liquid, gaseous, solid, or other substance that would pollute the waters of the state. So what types of discharge permits would a farmer need in Maryland from the Department of the Environment? We'll go through a few of the most commonly needed permits. One such permit is the Industrial Wastewater Discharge Permit. It's required for discharges of more than 10,000 gallons of clean water a day, or any volume of discharge of waste or wastewater to a surface or groundwater. Examples of facilities that would need this type of permit are animal waste facilities, aquaculture operations, any operation that has substantial crop irrigation, facilities that process agricultural products, such as those making cheese or jam. Another discharge permit that an operator may require is that for the general application of pesticides. This is a general permit for operators that apply pesticides in or near water. The permit regulates discharges from pesticides applied directly to surface waters to control pests, or applied to control pests that are present in or over surface waters. It's required for discharges to waters of the state from the application of either biological pesticides or chemical pesticides that leave a residue when the pesticide application is for mosquito or other flying insect pest control, aquatic weed and algae control, aquatic nuisance animal control, or forest canopy pest control. Another general discharge permit that might be required is that for an animal feeding operation. Animal feeding operations are often referred to by their abbreviation, AFO. If an AFO in Maryland is either medium or large in size and it discharges or proposes to discharge into surface waters of the state, it needs to be covered under the general discharge permits for animal feeding operations. Additionally, discharges from a MAFO need to be covered. A MAFO is an animal feeding operation that doesn't meet the definition of a CAFO, which is a concentrated animal feeding operation, but it is likely to discharge to groundwater. Finally, discharges from an AFO that utilize spray irrigation for the application of liquid wastewater to soil need to be covered by the general discharge permit. What about a small animal feeding operation? A small animal feeding operation is not required to be covered under the general discharge permit unless the Maryland Department of the Environment or the Environmental Protection Agency specifically designate the operation as having the potential to discharge a pollutant into a waterway. How do you know if you're a small, medium, or large AFO? MDE has a very handy and easy to read size chart for AFOs and a diagram that can help you determine if you need to be covered by the general discharge permit, and a link for those is provided here. They're available on MDE's website. What about discharges of soil into waterways? Anytime an ag operator is going to be discharging soil into a waterway, a soil conservation and water quality plan is required before any discharge of soil into waters of the state. Another permit that would be required for a discharge of soil is a Section 404 wetlands permit. A Section 404 wetlands permit is required anytime there's a discharge of dredged, excavated, or fill material into wetlands, streams, rivers, or other U.S. waters. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is the federal agency authorized to issue a Section 404 wetlands permit. Activities that are exempted from this type of permit are ongoing farm operations as long as the activities are not involving bringing a wetland into agricultural production or converting an agricultural wetland to a non-wetland area. This video is meant to provide a general overview of ag discharge permits in Maryland. For an extensive list of all the different types of discharge permits required in Maryland, visit MDE's website. Thank you.